Hey mates, here we are again. That last video that I uploaded about the R1250 GSA, which screw goes where, it's had a fantastic response. Thank you very much for all the views. So I thought I'd do one on the GS. Let's do it again. It's pretty much the same, but if you have specifically got just the GS, it's a flipping GS. But if you've got the GS, the non-adventure bike, well then this is the video that you want to be watching if you are about to take that step, that courageous step, and get your screwdriver out and start undoing all the nuts and bolts and screws so you can start putting loads of gear on there. And hopefully this will help you make that decision to hit that button and buy a Denali bundle from me or a dash cam and install it exactly the same way how I install them, by stripping the bike all the way down. So we've got the tools that are ready. I feel like a cowboy. I must admit, these tools are great, aren't they? Oh. Damn. They're pretty awesome, aren't they? So if you've just got here and really you're looking for a video for the GSA, well then click on the link above. Watch that video because that's been very, very popular for the GSA. But if it's all about the GS, then stay tuned and watch this video. Okay, so let's get started on the rear. So I'm using a T40 to take off the rear grab rail. You can use a torque wrench or you can use one of these. So once those four are undone there, you just pull it up. Now, same as on the GSA, we've got long bolts on the front, and on the rear part of this grab rail they are shorter. So I just leave them popped inside and pop it in a safe place. Then all we have to do is remove these four bolts left on here. So with these four at the back, it's all symmetrical, so they're all the same length on the back. So you've got these short ones at the back, and you also get a bush spacer that goes in the back as well. Now you can just leave these sitting in the top, and the ones down here are the same but longer. There's longer, and also the spacers, the bushes spacers, they're longer as well, and they go at the front. They don't go at the back. They go down here. So if you want to, you can leave them in there, or you can take them out and come back to this video and see this as a reference so you know which bolts go where. So then we lift this off here. This bike has not got a tracker on it, so there's nothing stuck under here. So it just lifts off. You might find that there's a data tool tracker or a scorpion tracker where I'm tapping my finger, and you have to peel that off and then stick it back on again when you put it back together. That is the back done. So now we're going to start taking this panel off here. So using a T25, these screws here are shoulderless T25s. Now remove the seat height adjuster at the front. So now at the front of this top trim, we're going to take off this screw here. And these screws are small shouldered T25s. And that's the one from the other side. As you look down inside, right at the front, in there is a T30. I'll take that out now and show it to you. And there we are, a very small shoulder T30 long bolt which goes down the front behind the yoke. Now with it like this, you just pull the top off. So fingers under here and then pull up, and it all pulls off. And what you've got under here are various little locating clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 8 in total, and they sit over these various points of the side panels. But don't be afraid to give it a bit of a tug. Just work your way along it evenly and pull it off. Whilst we've still got the T30 drive bit in the screwdriver, we're going to undo this one here. So these are T30s with a small shoulder on them. Swapping out the T30 back for the T25 again. Now we're going to undo this panel here. So it's these two screws here. And these two screws are very long shoulderless screws, T25s. With it like this, you put your finger behind this part and then your hand at the front part of it, and you're going to pull it backwards and then it comes off. It's just two of these locating bungs which go inside these two channels just there. And of course we do the same on the other side. So there's a screw just here. That is a shoulderless T25, but it's just a standard length one. It's not one of the long ones. And the same on the other side. Okay, so under here you need to remove all three of these screws. These are shouldered T25s. And this last one just here, that is a small shouldered T25 screw. Right, so by lifting the bike up, you can see a screw just here, and there's a screw just down there, and it's the same on the corresponding side. So let's undo those. Time out, time out, time out. This is a different day, same top, different colour t-shirt. Okay, so, but it's the following day, and I'm just putting this bike back together again. And then I realised that I didn't show you these screws up here. And the reason I didn't show you those screws up there is because they weren't there in the first place. This is not an uncommon thing where where BMW technicians, I don't want to be pointing fingers, but I don't know where this bike's been, but when the customer collects it in the next hour and a half, I'm going to ask him where it's been already, and just to let him know that the side's already been taken off and those screws weren't replaced. Whether that happened from on the production line or whether that happened at the garage, but they weren't there when I was taking the bike apart. But the screws that go in here, just so happens I've got lots of spare screws, because as I said, I get loads of bikes in like this where there are screws missing, especially on the inside panel where you can't see them as much. They're easy to miss, I guess. So the screws that go in here are shoulderless T25, so I've got a couple here to put in there. And they are the same as the screws that go in the side here. So shoulderless T25s. Okay. And they are shoulderless T25s. And two on this side as well. So now we don't touch these at all. We're going to take this one out and this one out. This is a shouldered T25. This is also a shouldered T25. And the other side. To remove this panel is like a popper at the very top, which is connecting these panels together. So as you can see, this is all now loose, but there's a popper just there. So, and you just pull it directly away from the bike. No sliding involved. There it is. So that springy popper went through that little rectangle slot just there. And it's really good because when you put it back together again, you just line up that slot over that popper, as I call it, and you just clip it into place so it's hanging there. It just hangs there, so it's all lined up to put the screws in. And the other side. So now it's in this state, we can take off this screw here and the same on the other side, and then the nose can come off. The screw out of here is a shoulderless T25. So if you look under here, you've got these two holes just there, and they slide over these two prongs on the front of the bike. So now you get these little rubber grommets. Now you need to keep the rubber grommets inside of the fairing. Now one's already hit the floor, I know it has, I heard it drop, so I need to go looking for that. I found it, there it is there, just a little rubber grommet which fits inside here. So when it goes back on again, those two little rubber grommets go over the little prongs just here. Now all we have to do is take this panel off here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will then come off. So those two screws are two T25s with shoulders on them. And that screw is a shoulderless T25. A shoulderless T25. I almost forgot, and down here we've got a little rivet, plastic rivet that needs to come out. It's very, very hard to show this on camera. What I'll do is I'll show the bit I did on the GSA, because it's very similar, because I had lots of extra lighting, but it's dark here now, and I can't get the right amount of light into here. But it's an exact same position behind the radiator. So I'll just get this plastic rivet out. There you go, one plastic rivet. And now we can remove this panel. And the same, exactly the same on the other side. So back to the T40 again, undoing the seat height adjustment bridge. So there's a little cable tie just here. So we cut that off. And this is the fuse block, so we unplug the fuse block. That's the Pro chip holder. We'll unplug that so it's disconnected, and then you need to take this off here. There we are. So you can just leave these bolts inside here, but they do come out. That's what you have. Just leave them like that and store it like so. Now, when I did the one on the GSA, I showed myself unclipping all of this wire for the keyless fuel entry. But what you can do if you want to is unscrew all of the fuel cap, and if you basically pull it up like this, I'm just going to pull off the hose on this side so it's free, and now I can move this across to here behind the handlebar. So this part here I'm just putting in a safe place because it can easily fall off. That's the front part of the fuel cap. And then I'm going to let the rest just sit behind the steering yoke like this. So now the petrol tank is ready to be lifted off because it's no longer connected to the bike. What I've done here, I've got a rag in a plastic bag, and I'm going to just pop that in the hole which will seal it whilst we're working on the bike. Right, so to pull this off, we're now going to pull the tank backwards. I'm glad it's a GS and not a GSA because it is a full tank of fuel, but because it's a GS, it's a pretty small tank. So behind here, you've got two electrical connections, 1 and 2, and then where you see that little white button, that is the release button for the petrol. So all I'm doing, it's very hard to show you as I'm doing it because my hand needs to come over the top, but I'm going to press that down, and as I press it, you're going to hear it pop off. You get a little bit of dribble of fuel, not a lot, but it shuts off immediately. And there you can see the fuel line just there. And then with the two electric plugs, what you do is, I'm pushing it this way across just so it releases the clip, and then that pulls off, and then this one as well, just push a bit to my right towards the camera, just so I can pop it out. And there you have the back of the fuel tank. So there you have it, all done and ready to be worked on. Right, I've now got a load of work to do to this bike. This customer's having a D4 bundle, I'll put a link down below for that, and he's having an in-off K2 with my very special rear camera mount, so I'll make sure I video that, and I'll put a link down below so you can see that video as well. It's pretty cool. Hopefully this has helped you. If this has helped you out, please can you give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, anything just to interact with my channel. I really appreciate it. It does make quite a bit of a difference. I'm now going to turn out for the night, and I'll be back in the morning. So stay safe behind bars, guys. Bars, guys? Sounds crap, doesn't it? So stay safe behind bars, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.